Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? Let's talk about an uncivilized mutt. After killing and dismembering 19-year-old Sade Robinson, 1 week after his arrest, Maxwell Anderson has been charged with murder. I ain't got no problem with that. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock that uncivilized mutt up. The charges confirm what many had grown to suspect in the last week and a half. The human remains discovered in Cudahy Park April 2nd belonged to Robinson, who was reported missing the same day. The case received extensive publicity as additional human remains were found in Milwaukee in the days since. Anderson and Robinson met April 1st to go on a first date with each other, the criminal complaint said. The two ate dinner and went to a bar before going to Anderson's home on Milwaukee's South Side. Using surveillance footage, witness statements, and phone tracking records, the complaint pieces together the movement of Anderson Robinson, her phone, and her car for about a 16-hour period, beginning with their meeting over dinner. Anderson was charged Friday with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson. In a court appearance Friday morning, his bail was set at $5 million. At a joint press conference Friday morning with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office and the Milwaukee Police Department, officials said a search for remains continues and an investigation into the motive remains active. They declined to comment on evidence found or taken from the uncivilized mutt's home. However, the complaint did state that blood was found on the bedding in his home and on the walls leading to the basement. This, family, is the worst kind of violence imaginable. It's abhorrent. And this sucker, this guy is in his 30s. I believe they said he was 35. So he's been pretty much roaming the earth. He's been moving around in civilized society, amongst the civilized, all these years, and has never been discovered. I'll bet you $1 to a donut this is not his first murder. This, family, this is what uncivilized mutts do. This is not his first. I bet you this is not his first rodeo. I bet there are other bodies. Now, the detective said that at this point, they have no reason to believe that there are other victims. I doubt it. Now, how did they meet? Investigators say that at this point, they believe that the two met at Anderson's job. They didn't say which job. Now, he's had a job at several bars and restaurants around the city. So who knows? But according to the criminal complaint, witnesses said that Sade was excited to go on this date with this dude. Now, she's 19 years old. He's in his 30s. They just met. They was going on a first date. Don't know how long they had talked on the phone or whatever, but they were going on a first date. And this dude didn't just kill her, he dismembered her. Ladies, let me explain something to you real quickly. You got to be very, very careful about going to men's house that you don't know. You got to be very, very careful about being in spaces with men that you really don't know. Being in private places with men that you really don't know. Because these uncivilized mutts come in all shapes, sizes, and colors and ages. So I know that there's some people in the comments saying, wait, you should mess with that white dude, baby. This happens all the time with all kinds of people, family. All kinds of people. These uncivilized mutts are everywhere. They transcend race, age, gender, color. They're everywhere. You got to be very careful. Because some of these dudes, it's not even just that they don't know how to take no for an answer. Because that could be a situation where maybe he wanted her to do something she didn't want to do. But sometimes you run into a hunter, and it's not about being nice. It's not about being compliant. Sometimes you can give him exactly what he wants, and he still will hurt you. Because that's what some of these uncivilized mutts aim to do. This is how they're wired. Some of these dudes, it's not that they just hate women, they hate people. And imagine him working in a bar, a restaurant. You meet all kinds of strangers in bars and restaurants. And you can easily get a person to drop their guard if you're serving them. Here's a little bit more background on the case in that first date. According to the criminal complaint, which cites extensive surveillance footage, cell phone records, and witness statements, a friend reported Robinson missing around 9 p.m. April 2nd after she didn't show up for work. Police went to Robinson's apartment building, where a building secretary said Robinson told her April 1st that she was excited for a date that night. Robinson's cell phone records showed she arranged to meet someone at 5 p.m. at the Twisted Fisherman restaurant located at 1200 West Canal Street for dinner. Management and workers at the restaurant told investigators that Robinson was there with Anderson, a former employee. The two left the restaurant shortly before 6:30 p.m. and went to Duke's on Water, arriving in Robinson's Honda Civic. After 9 p.m., they went to Anderson's home on the 3100 block of South 39th Street. Around 12:45 a.m., Robinson's phone left the area and went to Milwaukee's downtown, eventually reaching the River West neighborhood at Pleasant Valley Park. From there, it went to the Warnermount Park area in Cudahy, where it stayed until the phone's battery died shortly after 4:30 a.m. Warnermount Park is where a severed human leg was found around 5:29 p.m. April 2nd. Video at the park showed a Honda Civic at the park until about 4:30 a.m. A human figure was seen walking down a bluff several times back to the area of the car. At 7:32 a.m. April 2nd, Robinson's burned Honda Civic was found near West Lisbon Avenue and North 29th Street in Milwaukee, with what officials later determined to be Robinson's clothes and other belongings inside. On April 6th, police found a foot in the area of the burned car that appeared to be from the same body as the severed leg. Using video and witness statements, police identified Anderson as the suspect who burned the vehicle. He boarded a bus that took him near his home and arrived there on foot at about 8:35 a.m. Early in the morning of April 4th, sheriff deputies stopped Anderson's vehicle and arrested him. Preliminary results of the blood testing on the severed leg determined that it did belong to Sade Robinson. Not surprisingly, Anderson has a criminal history. It includes misdemeanor convictions of disorderly conduct and domestic violence across 3 cases from 2014 to 2019. In 2 of the incidents, he destroyed property at the home of 2 relatives, and in the 3rd incident, he was accused of beating a man on a Milwaukee street when he intervened after seeing Anderson in an argument with a woman. Not surprisingly. Yeah. Anyway, fam, Sade Robinson has been described by all that knew her as a very good, decent human being. One of those that everybody liked her. She lit up the room. How often do we hear that, fam? Why is it that no one ever says, she wasn't shit, I hated her, nobody liked her, she was messy, she was a thief, a drug addict, you know? It's always the good ones. Anyway, family, this is cold-blooded. This girl had her whole life ahead of her. 19 years old, finished high school a semester early, months away from getting her associate's degree. She wanted to go to the Air Force. That's what she wanted to do. Cold game, fam. It's a cold game. That uncivilized mutt need to be put down. Don't even waste the state's resources. Just put that uncivilized mutt out of his misery. The world would be a better place. R.I.P. Sade Robinson. No more talk.